Greetings and good morning. Welcome. So, for today's or this week's topic, I want to talk about resumes and networking and how each of them work and how they can work better together. Just to kind of give you a little brief on me, obviously, I'm a little on the older side of life, so I've sent out thousands of resumes in my life. But I've only had one or two jobs that I can think of where the resume got me the interview and the job. Most of my jobs, I got through networking. Now, I did have two jobs, if I remember correctly, where it was neither a resume nor a network. I just showed up. In one instance, they would put us through a training, and at the end of the training, as long as you did well and you wanted the job, you got the job. The other one was I showed up at a place, had a little in-person interview with the supervisor, and as long as I was willing and he was willing, the job was mine. But again, for that one, as long as you were able-bodied, they were taking pretty much anybody that walked in the door. But all my other jobs, and I think I've had at least 10 different jobs in my life, careers, whether they be, for a few months or 20 years. Most of that was through networking, including the one I got now. We'll deal more with that later on. I kind of explain that side of the networking versus the resumes. So first off with resumes. And I don't know what the modern teaching is of resumes now. I know growing up, resumes. To teach you, get the resumes out there. It is a numbers game. I think statistically, if I remember correctly, and please go do some verification yourself, I think it's 2 out of every 100 resumes will get you an interview. Not the job, just the interview. So it is massively a numbers game. Now, what does a typical resume, or what should a typical resume look like? A typical resume, an ideal resume, should be a one-page, single-sided document that can be read in no more than 30 seconds. Though most HR will tell you they don't even spend 10 seconds. Some don't even spend 5 seconds. So your resume, it's prime real estate. So you need to be very, very particular about what you put on that document. Now, for some industries, and we'll get a little bit more into that later, just because of the work history, the certifications, you might need to go to a 2-page document. And again, that's a single sheet of paper, double-sided. Some want it 2 separate sheets with the front. But again, that is just usually for documentation purposes. Do you have this certification, this certification, this certification, and how many years of experience do you have? But never go larger than 2 pages. They're not going to read it. If it's larger than that, they're not going to read it. I mean, think about yourself. If you were a business owner, if you had a corporation and you had thousands and thousands of resumes coming in, and in some cases there's tens of thousands, are you going to read it by yourself? No. So what corporations have done is they have a system called ATS, automated tracking system, I think is what it's called. It's essentially it's an AI that's looking for keywords for to the resumes. So if your resume, no matter how long it is, if it doesn't have the proper keywords, you're never even going to make it to an interview. So how do you know what those keywords are? Well, you have to read the job description very, very well. and know it very, very well. Know what looks like keywords that a tracking system's going to want to see. And that's just to get you in the door for an interview. So it's rough just using a resume. As we've talked about, the resume itself, it's very limiting on what you can put on there to highlight who you are, as you know, your personality, your drive, your motivation. You can say you worked for a company doing X, Y, and Z, but what does that mean? There's thousands of people out there that can say the exact same thing as you. Why are you better? What makes you better on that resume? And I said the resume, it's prime real estate. You're not going to be able to do, hey, I worked for this company and I did all this and put a paragraph of stuff. It's not going to happen. They're not going to read that. 5 to 10 seconds. 30 if you're on the upper end of, the echelon, the top score. Okay, they might spend that full 30 seconds looking at yours. But 5 to 10 seconds, that's the amount of time you have in front of the HR for them to scan through your resume. And that's if it makes through the tracking system. Resumes still have their place. I'm not bashing resumes. Resumes do have their place. But you got to understand what that place is. It's the chances of you getting an interview, as we talked about statistically, are extremely low. So you need to understand how to leverage that resume, how to, instead of, throwing a huge rock of your resume at somebody, how to get the spear tip of it to the right person at the right time with the right company to make it really stand out. One of the last thing before we kind of move on is, so you need to keep 2 resumes on file with yourself at all times. A master resume. A master resume is for you, nobody else. Your master resume is going to be everything you've ever done. All the certifications, all the education you've done, all your work history. And when you put, like, in your master resume, you put, okay, you worked for company X. Okay, what was your title at company X? What did you do at that title? Did you get a promotion? Did you get a new title? What did you do under that title? Make it a novel. There is no limitation on what you can put on your master resume. Your master resume is it's like your memory aid. You go back and they say, well, you're interviewing for a new company, and they say, well, you showed here that you worked for company X. What did you do? Well, now that you've already gone back to your master resume, you can go, okay, yeah. So I started off doing this, and under that title I was doing this, but then I got a promotion and started doing this, or I started doing this and then was doing this. So understanding what the justification for your master resume. Now, the second resume you're going to have is going to be a tailor-made resume, and this one is going to change over time. Some of your stuff is going to stay the same. Some of your work history is going to stay the same. Some of your educational certifications are going to stay the same. But what you're going to want to do is tailor-made, custom-made is for whatever company or job you're going for. So say you worked a lot in construction, but you've gone and you've got certifications for the IT industry. Or when you go to interview or you go to apply for a job with IT services, you're not going to put your construction unless you have nothing else on your resume. You want that tailor-made resume focused on your IT and everything you've done. IT certifications. Certifications are big in IT, for example. You want those certifications on there. You want any education, any jobs you've done with the IT services. Now, if you're just starting out, it probably not a bad idea to go ahead and show that you worked in construction for, you know, X, Y, and Z for so long, but that you are, when they ask, okay, you were in construction, but you're doing IT, and be honest. That'll be a key that will get you a lot more opportunities. Even if you don't get that job, that will build bridges for you, and we'll get to the networking portion later on. But that honesty of, yes, I was in construction, I liked the job, but my focus, my passion is more in toward IT services. That's why in my spare time I took classes. I got my A plus certification, my network certification, my security plus certification. I am now working to get my some of my Cisco certifications, Microsoft certifications, whatever. Let them see that, okay, this is where you were. You were this seed, and you are self-growing. You are self-motivating. That will turn a lot of people onto you very quickly. Even if they're like, okay, I don't have the job that you're applying for. I can't put you in because it requires X, Y, and Z, but we do have another position that if you would like to take, it's lower salary, entry position, but I would like you to apply for it. There you go. You've just opened another door for yourself. So be aware of what you can and should put on your resume. And again, there's services out there that might help you better tailor your resume to the individual business or career path you're looking at. So let's move on to to networking. Networking, in short, is the good old boy network. It's people you know, people you've interacted with, helping you get a job. And if you're young and you're just literally stepping into the job market, who's your network? Especially as a teenager, who's your network? You have a bigger network than you probably think you do. You just don't want to use it. Your first network, your parents, your family, siblings, aunts, uncles, cousins. Don't be afraid to use them. If you're in school, people you know in school. Band members, if you're in the band members, if you're on teams, sports, your teammates, even the coaches. Don't be afraid to use your network. But be honest. See, that'll be a key thing you need to notice throughout your interviewing and resume process. You just be honest where you are in your journey. That honesty will go a long way to getting your foot in the door, even if it's a door you didn't know existed. And that's what networking really does for you, is it opens up doors to opportunities you didn't even know existed. These doors and these opportunities always existed, but you didn't know they existed. So, and that's where the networking portion comes in. Even, yeah. So one of my very first jobs I got was from my parents. They knew someone who worked for the local youth organization, and my first job was doing concessions. Well, I got it through my parents. So don't be afraid to leverage. I mean, it's another door. So statistically, okay, let me throw the numbers out before we kind of get into anything. Statistically, my understanding on the little research I did was that networking will get you at least to the interview, if not the job, around 85% of the time. Remember, a resume was just 2% of the time. Networking, 85%. Why does networking work? Well, it's personal. Who are you more likely to hire? If you get to this is the thing to kind of start picturing. Picture yourself. Reverse everything you're doing. Picture you're the business owner. You're in HR, you're whatever. You're the business owner. Who are you more likely to hire? Somebody you know, or somebody that just walks in off the street? That all you have is just what they're telling you on their resume. Yeah, you're going to hire somebody you know. It's the reality of the job market. You're going to hire somebody you know, or somebody that was referred to you by somebody you know. If it's a close friend, close relative, and they're saying, "Hey, little Timmy over here, I've known him for a little bit. He's got good work ethics. He's new to the industry, but he's growing. I think you should give him an opportunity if you have a job open." Yeah, sure. Have Timmy come on in. We are looking for somebody in this industry, in this particular job. Yeah, have him come on in and interview. Boom. It's personal. It's that interpersonal relationships that grow over time. As I said, most of my jobs that I've gotten have been via networking because I worked with somebody previously. Like the job I have now, I got via networking because I just happened to be walking into a grocery store and met somebody that I worked with previously, and they were like, "Hey, what are you doing?" I said, "I'm looking for a job." He says, "Okay, we got one." The interview was set up. I walked in, did the interview, pretty much had the job. Now I did have to submit a resume, but we'll get onto that in a little bit. Now, networking isn't perfect. As I said, 85%, that's really good, but it's not perfect. And what you're wanting to do is you're wanting to increase your probabilities, your law of averages as high as possible. So you want to combine networking and resumes. If you are just completely brand new to the industry that you're trying to get into, job fairs, meet and greets, industry events, meeting, just random stuff, go to it. Introverts, I hate to tell you this, you're going to have to find a way to come out of your shell and learn small talk, learn interpersonal skills. There's a lot of books out there, there's a lot of people out there in the industry that focus on helping you learn interpersonal skills. If you're not great at that, I suggest kind of reaching out and learning that. But you will have to learn interpersonal skills. You're going to have to talk to people if you want to get into certain industries. But once you get that meet and greet, once you're comfortable with people, and introverts, you know this, once you're comfortable with somebody, you can go back and forth. Not a problem, right? That's what you're looking to get to. You're looking to get to that point where you're comfortable with, Mr. Smith at this company. You can just say and talk and whatever about anything. And even if they don't have a job, if this is the industry you really have an interest or a passion in, keep talking to them. Yeah, you don't have to, I'm not saying bug them every day or every week or even every month. Networking is about planting seeds and watering those seeds over time. Now, don't be manipulative. Don't be somebody that's only in it for, what's best for you. This is an industry, and some of these industries are very small. So if you act a certain way, if you're very manipulative, that's going to propagate, and your reputation's going to get out there. Be honest, be truthful with yourself and with the people you're with. But don't be manipulative. Water the seeds. Hey, keep in contact with people. Hey, how's it going? Figure out what is the best way to water each networking seed that you have planted. Because guess what? As you grow in the industry, as you get more proficient, guess what could happen in 5-10 years? You could be the one that people come out and seek. You could be that industry expert that these new kids, that people coming in from other industries want to seek out, and they're wanting your ideas, your reputation, your energy, your references to help open them up to opportunities. So how do you want to be treated? Think about it from that. As I said, and a lot of this interviews and resumes and networking process, think about, okay, I'm applying for this job. Well, also think about it from the other position. Think about it that you're the HR person, you're the owner of this company. What are you looking for? Who would you hire? Would you hire you? And you can't say, yeah, because I'm great. No, no, that's not the answer. What does that resume, what does the job description say? Do you meet the qualifications? And you have to be honest with yourself. If you don't meet it, no, I don't meet that, but I'm striving to. And you really need to build yourself. You are the project, and you need to build yourself. You need to present yourself as a project to someone that says, hey, yeah, we want you in our company. So focusing on that tailor-made resume as well as networking is going to be a key to not only opening the doors to opportunities, but very specifically focusing on the bullseye of what they're looking for and maybe who you need to specifically talk to about getting in the door. Even if it's not for the job that you want, getting in the door could be a much bigger opportunity down the road. Think about like this. Okay, so at home you get a bunch of junk mail all the time, right? What do you do with junk mail? Maybe you'll flip through it, maybe, and it goes in the trash, right? Because it's, to the owners of this address or to Mr. and Mrs. blah, 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 right? It's very generic. Most people don't look at that. It's a waste of time. It's a waste of energy. A waste of resources for them sending it out. But if they already know you are looking for that service, whatever that service may be. Say you're looking for somebody to fix your roof. Okay. Are you going to look at circulars or junk mail about landscaping? No, you're not. Boom. Are you going to look about services for, concrete? No, you're not. Bathroom? No. But the roof repair comes through. You're like, okay. I am looking right now for somebody to redo my roof. Here's somebody I can reference, I can call. I know they already have the service and I'm looking for it. Okay, it's that closing in on that bullseye of matching the service provider with the person wanting the service. And that's really what your job search is about, is matching you as the service provider with somebody that's looking for your services. And building your network will help you get a gauge of what in your industry, what services they're looking for, and are you tailoring your career to those services? Some industries are rapidly changing, especially in IT services. So you got to keep going with that. You got to keep up on that stuff. Now, as we talked about previously, some industries are much more heavily focused on resumes. Even if you have the networking and you get in the door, they still want to see that resume because it's about your years of experience and your qualifications and certifications, healthcare, finance, accounting, government, education. Like for the government, for example, they may want some sort of let's stick with IT services. Okay, great. You've got your certifications are brilliant, but you don't have the proper security clearance. You're never getting in the door without that security clearance, or the odds are very low. You could still get in the door if they're like, okay, you don't have the security clearance, but you have the certifications, you have the years of experience. We're willing to help you get that security clearance. If they're willing to go that far, that says a lot about who you are, because that's expensive. It's very expensive, and it takes a lot of time and energy on their part just to get you in the door. So remember that if you're trying to get into a government sector, obviously with education, healthcare, you're a doctor, you're a nurse. There's certifications along with that, and even more specifically with, there's different types of doctors, different types of nurses, finance and accounting. You have to have certain certifications to do different types of financial aspects. Accounting, certified public accountant. That's something you have to get to be an accountant, to officially be an accountant. Education, obviously, different levels of education, different certifications to teach, whether it's just math, science, special education. And you may even need not just a bachelor's, but you may need a master's or even a doctorate for certain things. Okay, that's what that resume shows, that, okay, you have the certifications to even get in the door to get interviewed. Even if your network gets you to the door, your resume shows, okay, we can interview you. So again, this goes back to not just HR reviewing your resume, but that ATS, that automated tracking system, reviewing your resume, getting you in the door to get that interview. Places that are groups, organizations that don't really need the resume as much. Your entertainment industry. Sales, marketing, probably even some like startups. That's all going to be networking. What's your body of work for the entertainment industry? What have you done? Who do you know? That'll probably get you in the door to a lot of other opportunities. And if you look at Hollywood, you go back, a lot of these actors and actresses, who were their parents? Who were their friends, their relatives? A lot of these people in this industry, this is a family industry. They've been in it a while. And even with some of the singers, songwriters that are coming out, they've been in this industry for a while, whether directly or indirectly. So those, again, be more heavily. Networking is always great. Don't get me wrong. Building your network is always great, and you never want to turn that down. Sorry. So when you are out there building your network, be intentional with your network and your building. Be focused, but as I've talked about, be honest, be true, be yourself. Don't create a character just to get a job, just because you think this industry wants, or this company wants, this type of person. Be yourself, because over the years of working at that company, you're going to come out. the true you is going to come out. So you might as well start there. I know you may be desperate and you may want this job, but this is a longer term, a bigger picture that you need to be looking at. Attend industry events, as I said earlier. Even if you already have the job in the industry that you want. Again, let's stick with IT services. Go to industry events as much as possible. IT industry is rapidly changing, so keep going to those events. Any and all conferences, workshops, meet and greets, whatever. Keep that network going. Okay, you're probably over time you're going to see the same people over and over, but that's good. This goes back to rewatering the seeds that you planted maybe years ago, and you're like, hey, Jackie, I haven't seen you in what 5 years back in this event. How you doing? What's the word? What are you up to? Be honest, be truthful, and be yourself. LinkedIn is another way. Find people in the industry that you want, follow them, interact with their posts, make comments, but don't just jump out to them. Hey, I want a job with your company or with you. Blah blah blah. No, that's not that'll work. Yeah, would you if somebody just randomly jumped up on you and said, "Hey, give me a job"? No, it's not. No, interact. You're again watering that seed. You got to plant that seed and then water it over time. It may take months, it may take years, but you're building your network. You are trying to go from the little seed to the giant sequoia that is the industry standard. You are the one that people come to. That's your long-term goal. Right now, especially if you're just starting out, teens, early 20s, you are the seed. See yourself as the seed. See everything you plant as a seed, and understand some of this stuff's going to take a while to grow. Understanding also that networking isn't about getting favors from other people. It's about providing value for them as well, even if you get no financial benefit from it. Again, watering the seeds. What do you get out of watering seeds? In the first couple of months, maybe first couple of years, nothing. But later on, it could bear fruit. Now, here's the thing. You think, hey, it bears fruit. I can go pick it, and now I have it. No, not necessarily. Maybe that fruit then falls, rolls, and gets planted. You weren't there to plant it, but it plants itself. And this other tree grows up that bears fruit. Over time, that fruit is like coming back to you. Those seeds you planted are a network that comes back to you, whether you pick the fruit directly or indirectly. So again, this goes back to being honest, being who you are. So just stay in touch. Find that balance between being obnoxious and annoying. Obviously contacting somebody every day. Hey, how you doing? Hey, how you doing? Hey, versus an occasional acquaintance you meet at a conference or at a job fair. Staying up on the industry standards. There is a delicate balance, and just learning to do that. Contacting this person once a year is more than enough. Contacting this person once a month is more than enough. Just keeping up on what your industry standards are, learning to grow yourself, because you are a seed as well. So how do you want to bear fruit for yourself? How do you want to bear fruit for your industry later on? I guess so. So I think just to kind of round it out, applying all these strategies we've talked about, applying those to the job search, is identifying your industry's hiring style. Are they more focused on the resume or the networking? Within the networking, what is their preferred style of networking? With their resumes, what are they looking for on the resumes? Keeping those connections going, building your education, maintaining your network through time, as we've talked about, going to the conferences. Again, even if it doesn't bear immediate fruit, understand this is a long term. You're talking about your life in this industry, whatever it may be. Especially if it's something, if you're just getting a job to get a job, okay. But if this is your passion, your focus, what you want to do for the rest of your life, think of it that way. Think about 20, 30 years down the road. What do you want? What do you want to have? What position do you want? What fruit? When somebody looks back on your career, they're going to go, "Wait, what seeds did this person plant, and what fruit has it borne? Who do you really want to be?" Stay persistent in your job search, in your industry, but be willing to adapt. As we've seen, and this is, again, a much larger topic I'm not going to get into here, AI. I highly recommend you go learn AI. I don't care what industry you're in. Your industry, over the course of the next 20 years, will be affected by AI, if it isn't already. IT, for example, that's already being hit. So go ahead and start learning AI, understanding what AI is and what it is not, how it can benefit you and your industry, and in other ways, how it, at least right now, how it will not be able to benefit your industry. Tailor your job search and your approach based on the opportunity. Again, as I've talked about previously, going into the construction industry versus the IT industry. What does that mean? Going into business administration, management, what certifications are they looking for? And tailor your resume, tailor your job search, tailor your education to those fields and how that's going to work out for you. Yeah, just I guess in summary, understanding that the job industry, no matter which way you're going, it isn't just about your resumes and it isn't just about networking. It's about networking. It's about education. It's about your resume. It's about adaptability and growth. All of this is going to go into building the you that people want at their company. Okay, I'm hoping that kind of gives you a better idea of what to look for and how to approach it in your job search. Good luck out there. Best wishes. Have a good day.